1. Malabar exercise begins near islands contested by China. GS Paper 2, Bilateral and Multilateral Relations Involving India. About Malabar exercise. Exercise Malabar is a trilateral naval exercise involving the United States, Japan and India as permanent partners. Originally a bilateral exercise between India and the US, Japan became a permanent partner in 2015. Past non-permanent participants are Australia and Singapore. The annual Malabar series began in 1992 and includes diverse activities, ranging from fighter combat operations from aircraft carriers through maritime interdiction operations exercises. Points to be noted. In a boost to government's Act East policy, the Indian Navy ships Satpura, Sahyadri, Shakti and Kerch are participating in 20th edition of Malabar exercise with US Navy and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. The primary aim of this exercise is to increase interoperability amongst the three navies and develop common understanding of procedures for maritime security operations. The scope of Malabar 16 includes professional interactions in harbour on a diverse range of activities at sea, including complex surface, subsurface and air operation. The exercise was conducted not very far from the air defense identification zone imposed by China over the East China Sea in November 2013, including the Senkaku Islands, controlled by Japan but claimed by Beijing, and the Nine-Dash Line. The exercise also comes at a time of increased sighting of Chinese submarines in India's own backyard, close to Sri Lanka. 2. Centre's new bill to give more power to major seaports. GS Paper 3, Indian Economy, Infrastructure. What is the context is about? Shipping Ministry has proposed a legislation according to which major ports will be able to lease land for port-related use for up to 40 years, and for non-port-related activities up to 20 years. When implemented, it will replace more than the 5-decade-old Major Port Trust Act 1963 and will enable port authorities to function like a corporate entity. Of the 12 ports, the Kamaraj Port Limited has already been corporatized. The proposed bill would provide more autonomy and flexibility to the 11 major ports and will bring in a professional approach in their governance. Features of the bill. To reduce the extent of litigation between public-private partnership operators and ports, an independent review board has been proposed to carry out the residual function of the erstwhile Tariff Authority for Major Ports, TAMP, for major ports, to look into disputes between ports and PPP concessionaries, to review stressed PPP projects and suggest measures to review stressed PPP projects. At present, there is no independent body to look into these aspects. As per the draft bill, a distinction has been made between the usage of land for port and non-port related activities in terms of approval of leases. The port authorities are empowered to lease land for port-related use for up to 40 years and for non-port-related use up to 20 years, beyond which the approval of the central government is required. The board will comprise 9 members including 3 to 4 independent members instead of the 17-19 under the Port Trust model. Provisions have been made for inclusion of 3 functional heads of major ports as members in the board apart from a government nominee member and a labor nominee member. The need for government approval for raising loans, appointment of consultants, execution of contracts and creation of service posts has been dispensed with. Disqualification norm. The disqualification of the appointment of the board members, their duties and provision of the meetings of the board through video conferencing etc., have been introduced on the lines of Companies Act, 2013, as has been the concept of internal audit. The Board of Port Authority has been empowered to raise loans and issue security for capital expenditure and working capital requirements.